usually runs about $900 a month for that. I looked into it. And of course, we all know, if you've ever seen the Phoenix Suns, that you can get an entire bus wrapped on the outside to advertise your event. But let's keep it a little more local. Another idea that I had was, has anybody given any thought to the electronic signs, the electronic billboards that are on the freeway? You know, they actually have companies that drive around on our freeways with electronic signs on the back of a truck. This is cheaper than you think it is. You know, it takes a little bit of research. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you want a billboard sign on the side of the highway, you can do it. It's probably gonna run you about $1,000 for a month. But the companies that have the signs on the back of the trucks that drive around town, they generally run about $350 or so. And then, I mean, come on, these are people that are working for you. You know, you have to get your name, your brand, your logo in front of people, and that's what I'm stressing on right now. If you want a billboard sign or something like that, I suggest contacting either Clear Channel or Hubbard, because they handle a lot of the multimedia that's out there. And believe it or not, this is how the bigger acts out there that are on tour, like Sin Shrift and stuff like that, this is how they do it. Another option we have is radio, both online and terrestrial radio, through shows like the Dust Bowl Metal Show with Rich Ornelas, Heavy Metal Television, our very own Jim Stark right here. You know, and I just met a man here today. His name is Brian Black. He's on Anything on Facebook. You want to look him up on Instagram, it's AnyRad. You can submit your music to these people, and trust me, they're going to help you get your music heard. They're going to help you find an audience. You know, you can even submit. How many people here know who Mike Gobby is? Yeah?
That gay fucker.
Alex, I think you and Mike you and Mike probably need an arm wrestling competition or something. But even Mike Gobby, you know, with his Headbanger show and everything, he has ways to help you get your music out there on terrestrial radio airwaves. We also have, let's not forget, we have a local valley station called KWSS. They're 93.9 on the dial. You're not going to hear everything you want to hear on there, but I'll tell you what, they do take local submissions. They will put you on the FM airwaves, and this is just one more option that we all have.
Does anybody know any DJs over there?
Kevin Gassman used to work on KWSS.
That's what I'm getting at. You know, Cindy Love used to go.
Yeah, Cindy Love. Right. You know, I mean, these are normal people.
Get to know these DJs again.
Right. They're very approachable people, and you know, really, a lot of times, all it takes is you just gotta walk up and say hello to somebody. You know. Present them with a copy of your single or your CD.
The flyer to your show.
Right, the flyer to your show.
You didn't bring one tonight.
You know?
Giveaways.
So, you know, we do have options. And even though Mike Gobby couldn't be here today, I want to tell you this. He did ask me to share his condolences about the loss of a great local musician named Tim Livingston, who is pictured right here. I'll take my hat off for him. I'll tell you what, I did a little research. I didn't know Tim personally, but I have seen him perform in the past, and that guy, he did a lot of work around the valley for the last 30 years.
He's a great musician, man.
30 years. You know, he worked at the Guitar Center. He might have even sold one of us an instrument, you know. So he reached many people's souls through his love for music, teaching music, promoting music. And my deepest sympathies go out to his family and friends. Tonight, we're putting on a show. We got Voodoo Sliver, we got Until the Sun, and we have the band Itis. Itis was very, very close to Tim. Actually, I spoke with Craig yesterday, and they're coming all the way here from Colorado just today to do a benefit and a tribute to Tim Livingston. So let's have a great show and a great time in honor of our fallen brother, as many others lately, which also includes no other than the late Neil Peart, which I'm sorry to say. So that's it for me, and all I want to say is let's fucking rock and roll!
Okay, gang, we got a couple people here scheduled to speak today. Alex, would you like to come up next? You're closest? Come on up, you guys. Alex Wood, he's got some things to say for us. Listen to this man, he's got an intelligent mind on him. Thank you so much, Alex. Round of applause.
Wow, I didn't know I was gonna be first. Jesus.
Hey, Alex, you suck.
Only with you. All right, so I don't know if I'm a big fan of this whole meeting thing here. I liked it. Maybe it's gonna take a little different turn here. How many people in here are considered the black sheep of their family? All right. How many people have been called dreamers? How many people have been told that you live in your own world? Every one of us. And it's damn right we live in our own world because we created it. I don't know about you guys, but I get up every day and fight for what I get to live in this music scene. And everywhere I go, people are going, oh, Alex, you're gonna do that. Oh, Alex, that's gonna be too hard. It'll never work again. Everywhere I go, I run into this. And the difference between, you see, I left the music scene in California for about 10 years. I let myself get burnt out, put on drugs and everything else. And I tried to live in the real world. And in 2004, I moved to Phoenix. I gave up the drugs, and I didn't know what to do, and I was miserable. I was working just like everybody they told you you're supposed to do, trying to do relationships. It just wasn't working for me. So in 2007, I decided to go to Collins College for video and film. The only thing I wanted to do was learn how to use Pro Tools and do voiceovers or something. I had no idea. I only got the associate's degree, and when the first week I was there, they asked me, well, what are you going to do when you graduate from here? Everybody's going off and work in the movies, work in news studios. And my answer was, I'm going to walk out this door and work in the Phoenix music scene. And that's what I've done, and I'm proud of that. But I had to get to a point where I said, okay, I'm not going to listen to everybody else. I'm going to follow my passion. I'm going to find out I'm going to go back to what makes me happy. And what makes you happy is being surrounded by the most creative people that I've ever met in my life. And those are musicians and the people that are involved in the music scene. Because these are the people that don't take no for an answer. I mean, these guys go to work, they have families, they still go to band practice, they show up for their shows, and against all the odds, we get it done. We pull together when somebody is fallen, and we do benefits, and we do great things together. But we've got to make sure that when we feed our mind, it's in a positive way. If you get it set in your mind that our music scene sucks, your mind will find everything that sucks about it. Every day I get up, I tell myself we're in a great music scene, and there's opportunities out there, and it's not going to be easy. And I just keep going, you know? I mean, I find opportunities. I don't sit at my house and go, well, okay, this whole situation sucks, and that's just what it is. That's not it. I mean, we wake up every day and go, wait, did I do everything I possibly could to make that the most successful thing ever? And people say that Facebook's dead. It doesn't work. I'm telling you guys, we've gotten lazy. All right, if you take your band, say somebody creates a band flyer, great digital flyer. So you got one member of the band, he shares it. What that does, it only goes to his friends. If we take the time to do the tags right, there's one member in the band, but he's got 5 members in his band, so he tags every member in his band, tags the venue, tags the event. Everybody that looked at going and said interested in that event will get a post about that. All those people that he tagged that's in his band, it's going to go to all their friends. I call this the spiderweb effect. People don't use the spiderweb effect. Facebook is not set up for what we use it to keep in touch with our families. They didn't have anything like that when they designed it. The only thing they had was a business model to create it. So us feeding Facebook with all the negativity and stuff like that, that's all been created by us. Facebook works, but you have to use it correctly. I'm having a big challenge right now where I think if I do the tags correctly, and I start tagging every member and every band that's playing on that show, I'd probably have a more effective post than a sponsored post. I've paid for the sponsored posts for a lot of my shows, and I think that they work. You know, a lot of this is just basically getting that name out there. You know, you have to continuously see it, continuously see it, continuously see it. You go, oh, there's a lot of stuff going on at that bar. You know, you might not go to that show, but after seeing it, wow, look, they're doing this over there. Fuck, we really got to go over there and see what's going on. You know, and it's a trickle effect. You know, and like Eric said, you know, you guys got to believe your bands, man. You know, I do. Somebody gets a hold of me every day. They're like, Alex, can we play one of your shows? I'm like, well, come on, man. You know, I asked them the same thing. Where was the last time you played? Do you have a recent video? You know, and they sent me a video from Joe's. There's nobody in the crowd. It's a great video. I'm a promoter. Do I want to see? Do I care what your band sounds like? My opinion really doesn't matter in this whole thing. I can love you guys to death, but if you can't bring fans, I mean, it's a numbers game. Everybody thinks these venues have, you know, money. Everything costs money, guys. You know, you want a professional PA, and a stage, and stuff like that. All this stuff costs money. You know, these guys don't work for free. You know, you got 2 or 3 bartenders back there. Nobody in the venue. Everybody goes home. Guess who has to listen to those bartenders next week? Me. So it's everybody's responsibility to make sure we have a successful show. That's really all I got to say, guys. I love you guys, and if it wasn't for every one of you guys, I couldn't do what I do every day.
You swallow that down there for the microphone. Leave Eric the president. That was a really good speech, Alex. You had a lot of really good things there. You really did. He's right about a lot of things. I'm not going to ramble. Let's bring up our next guy. Tony, you want to come up? Tony knows you guys. Let's bring him up here. He's going to share his insights with us. And hopefully learn us something or two. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for being here, too.
I was going to come up here eating a Big Mac or something like Jim. Hold on a minute. Hold on. How y'all doing? Good? All right, I'm very honored to be here. I was asked to be here by a few musicians, and you know, when your fellow musicians ask you to do that, it's really cool.
And you still look
it's
sexy.
cool that they, you know, they say you're a promoting motherfucker, and
You're a true musician. You're a fucking
thank you. Yeah, that's right. I got my street cred finally. Finally. Holy shit. But yeah, I was asked about promotion and you know, about promoting. I tried everything. You know, I think you know, I try to look outside the box. I mean, you have a band, you put a band together, you're coming up, you're doing a show, you got a set list, you know, you're playing to the crowd, thank you, good night. And I was going, what could I do different from the other bands? You have to do something different. We all model ourselves after the bands that we look up to, Metallica, Slayer, whoever that is, Guns N' Roses, you know, and we go, let's do that type of thing. And you gotta, you know, I just went, what can we do to look outside of that box and start promoting and doing something to get people to the shows. So, of course, the costumes, you know, you all know my craziness on the costumes. That was a part of it. That was a part where I went, okay, let's see. Yeah. It wasn't long anymore. It was crumbling away. Sorry, it had to go. When it grows like this, it just shreds away. It's like time to cut it. But, you know, I kept that a lot for the shows. I was doing the 80s shows. So it was about what could I do for the 80s. So Tommy Lee had suspenders. David Lee Roth had chaps with his ass hanging out. And it was like, what could I do to shock people? And everybody's like, I got to go see what the hell's going on with this band. You know, it was an investment, so I think you got a good point on putting some money into your band, or yourself as well. First of all, you got to think about yourself and the members, and if every member in the band promotes themselves and their band together, you know, you're a guitarist. If you're a guitarist, you say, hey, I'm so-and-so the guitarist. I'm so-and-so the drummer. Get your shtick, you know, get something down that's going to promote you as a musician. And, you know, you look at Motley Crue, we shouted the devil, it was all four of those guys. You know who Mickey Six is, you know who Mick Mars is, you know every name in the band. It's a character, you know, they each had their own thing. So, we all kind of made our own thing for the League of the Forgotten Saints. And, we had, you know, I ended up invested, I had a print shop at the time, and I was doing car wraps and signage. And I did big cardboard type cutouts that I printed up of each member out in the front. And, you know, we set those up basically to hide when we were setting up our shit. You know, we put them up in front because there was no curtain, which we need curtains in the venues, everybody. Then you just go, wow, with a shitload of smoke coming out the front, man, let's make it a show. But so we would set up those cardboard things, and I had little cutouts and, you know, banners and just, you know, as much as I could do to make that show, you know, even if we were on a patio, I'm setting up all this stuff on a patio just to make it a show. And we were, you know, with all that put together, we were one of the most successful bands making money. And people were coming out, and we were packing the clubs, and it was working. But you know, that only works for so long. You have to keep going and trying new things. You can't just do the same shit for year after year. So I started calendars, which you mentioned the calendars. And y'all don't have to be butt-ass naked in your calendars, but yeah, the chicks love it. Chicks dig it.
And if the chicks are there, the guys are gonna go.
Yeah. They might be a little pissed off at you because their girlfriends are up getting a calendar from you, but hey, whatever. But I mean, you could do. It's an idea that outside the box that you could do it with your band and do a calendar with your band. There's a guitarist on 1 month, and it's just examples. Posters. I see musicians that do posters, and then the other guys go, "Look, they made a poster of themselves or their band or whatever." Well, fuck yeah. Do you want to be? Would you want to be where these guys are? You know, all the musicians here in the valley are not my competition. If I want to, you know, the bar that I'm looking at are the guys that are on the top. The guys that are touring, those are the guys that I'm shooting for. You know, I want to be that good. I want to have that kind of thing, and you know, and that's what it takes. When you start I start cheering the bands on when I see them. Hey, I got a new poster. I'm like, there you go. Now that, start promoting yourself. It brings people in, you know, and then it makes you money. Think about it as a business. You got your. I went and made salsa for a while. I was like, I would bring the whole thing. I would set up a show. I even put a theme to the show. I called it Cougar Fest, was one of them. And yeah, so all the cougars came, all the ladies, come on, it was about the women. Come to the show. I made these little things that go, you know, those little hair things that they put on their hair, and I cut out with leopard print some duct tape that I bought, and I made ears, and they would all put on the ears, and there was balloons with the leopard print. It was all big, you know, themed deal. And it was Cougar Fest, and they would come, and then we'd have giveaways. I bought tickets, and I would go give them to the bar and say, every time somebody buys a drink, please give them a ticket. We're going to have a raffle in between. I mean, you just have to get this thing, you know, and set up the shirts off to the side, and here's some posters for sale, and then all of a sudden you got a rock show going on. There's just a lot of shit going on. It makes it like, I want to go to that. You know, it's just not the band up here playing, you know, come listen to our music, which I will get to in a moment. Because that's important too. But, you know, that's about it. It was an investment to do this. And when Eric brings up spending some money, you know, whether you're doing it in the bus or or you're wrapping a car or putting some graphics on your trailer or whatever, you're going to have to invest in the band if that's what you're going to do. There's an initial investment. And hopefully you get it back. You know, if not, you have people at your show and you have a good show. But Alex is also right about everybody working together. If the band is doing everything that they can do, you know, as a band, to bring people in the doors, that helps the promoter or producer.
Or venue.
Yeah, or the venue, or everybody involved. So then they're going to take your promotional shit, and then they're going to take it in and start making posters themselves or putting it on their website. So it all works together. I got to agree that somebody was a promoter and they said, you know, if I put you on a billboard out by the freeway and I put your band's name, is anybody going to know who you are? If you're not promoting your band, that ain't going to help shit. They're going to go, wow. Who are those guys? That's a new band. Are they going to go to the show? No. It's going to take them driving up and down the freeway, seeing you out there for months before they go, oh, it's a band that we should go see. So it is on the band to promote yourselves, at least try to get some people to come to the show, the venues, promoters, everybody working together, trying to promote social media, to have a successful show so you all make money together. And I know a lot of musicians say, it's not about money, but really it is. So if you just want to come up and play for beer, you still have to make the venue money so they can give you free fucking beer.
Yeah.
You know? Right? So anyway, you have to look at it like a business, and that's really, you know, what the whole thing boils down to, because the venue is here to make money, and you can't come in here with no people. And the promoter is there to make money or make the venue money. So does that make sense? So everybody work together to be able to have a scene. And like you said, if you're looking to go to the top of the big record deal thing or whatever, most of us are past that age or we don't care about it, right? We just want to go out and have a good time. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on where we're at. We have some cool venues right now. We have some that have closed and some more that are opening. So that's where we got to look at. Let's just enrich what we have here and where we're at and go from there. So, you know, I think bands, and I can go on, you guys can just turn off the mic at any time because, you know, I'll keep babbling all night. I love sharing information, so hopefully you gotta open your mind and just try different things. It doesn't have to be a calendar or whatever, but opening your mind into what am I not doing as a musician, and we'll start there. As far as...
I have a question.
Yes.
What are things that have not worked for you?
How much time we have?
Hit a couple major.
Because it's like...
Two disasters.
I gotta say, here's the thing, is everything that you try may not work out like you want it to, but it helps.
And some things may work for some, but not the other too. So that's
Yeah, well, and it's not like taking you backwards.
When you doing your book, Tony?
What's that?
When you doing the book?
Yeah, that's next. Well, but you also don't want to kill something that ain't working for you. You don't want to keep doing it over and over. That's that definition of insanity, expecting a different result. And you're not going to get it out of there. So you try different things. So, like you said, you're failing at it. You could say, oh, what a failure that was. But you know what? I did a lot. You got out and you did something. They said, look at that. He's selling salsa at his shows. He got chips and salsa at the door. What the hell is that?
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, well, right? Come on and try the shit. And it worked. And it brought people out for a while. I would say attitude is the biggest thing that's going to make your band fail. And this is pretty simple. Open your mind and work with others. And can't be an asshole. You can't come in there and know it all. I found my opinion from the last one was everybody knew what the hell they're doing, but here we all are at the meeting of the fucking minds, right? But everybody knows, I know business, I know music shit. No, we don't. I don't know shit. As far as, you know, I don't know. How do I learn? How do you learn if you already know it all? You have to open your mind and say, teach me, you know, and look to the people that you look up to, whether they're local or on whatever level, and go, how do I do that, what he's doing? Ask questions, try different things. So that's the biggest thing that I'm guilty of it. You know, I was like, man, I know I'm writing music, I'm writing good music, but you know what? I'm being produced on a CD right now, and I found out how little I know about how to produce and how to record, how to perform on a record and make it as good as I can make it. And I knew it was missing something, because I'll tell you, if you don't have your tempo down, if you're not playing, if you're pushing and pulling with your guitars, if you're coming in with the vocals a little bit late, a little bit early, people hear that shit. They don't know exactly what it is. Just, you know, the person listening goes, something off with the music. Producers and all the guys at the top listen to it and go, man, you're off the click. you're all over the place, you know, and they turn it right off. I'll give you an example. I heard a band had keyboards in the front, a little bit of piano work going on. And it wasn't bing, 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 bing. It was bing, 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 bing. It was just all over the place. And right off the bat, I went, you know, that they can't even keep right on the, you know, people are turning it off right away. So you as a mechanic, you can look at a job that somebody did on the vehicle and go, wow, he didn't tighten that hose clamp right. Yeah, when they break down and their shit's squirting out, they're like, ah, they didn't do the job right. That's what they're doing, and that's what the people are doing. You didn't tighten down your stuff. You gotta fine tune it. So you should be able to have some recording equipment right now and be able to record yourself. I'll tell you what, I went in and I started playing guitar on my CD that's coming out. By the way, I'm promoting that right now. See what I'm doing here? You see what I did right there? See? Be coming out soon, in a couple months. But I started playing guitar, and he was, and the producers, and you know, you can't go in there and argue with somebody who's telling you, dude, you're off. You're like way off on the guitar. I'm like, fuck, I know I'm better than that. I know I don't suck that bad. But I looked at the wave file, and I was all over the place. So I said, give me a week. Let me go back to the woodshed, and let me work on it. So I had to go back and I recorded myself. I looked at the wave file. I made sure I was on every click and in between. So it takes work, and that matters, putting out the music. Now, maybe not to Alex Wood, and he's right. I worked actually for Music Zirconia for a little while. I went and got a job. I drove out to San Diego and worked for them booking some of the tribute bands for a while until I just realized I don't really even like booking my band. What the fuck am I doing? Why do you take this job? But I learned a lot. It was like, that's what they look for. They said, man, you make a video. So let's say you're really working on your music now, and you come out with this awesome product that, you know, sounds great, get your look together, whatever that is. You want jeans, you want concert shirts or t-shirts, whatever. And now you put it in a music video and you do your video, they are gonna look for people in the crowd. And that was what they told me in the Music Zirconia. They're not, you show them where there's like 2 people in the crowd, woo! Just doesn't look good, man, you know? So all those things matter. I think the biggest thing is opening your mind and being able to change if you want to be more successful. And be different. Do something different that nobody else has done. And you know, I think there's a lot. I think that's a great. I'm going to end it there because I'll just like keep going on. But hopefully that helped. Is there any questions or anything that anybody wants to ask?
I want to know what you did to actually. What triggered you to actually do something like making the calendar?
Yeah, you know what? I also had a podcast.
What's the successes that you did?
It was just, I just wanted to do something different. You know, I did salsa was a success. And it was something that all of a sudden I had people saying, hey, you can come into our factory and make it, and stores wanted to buy it. And I go, I don't want to be a salsa man. I don't want to do that. But it worked, and it got people in the doors. The calendar was a thing, just, you know, the hump day pictures were something I just go, I got to put something out there, you know. And I had women, the idea came from the women on social media. You gotta do a calendar, you gotta, you know. So, yeah, you do wanna, yeah. Right, that's right. And some do it to get laid, right? Maybe a little bit in there.
Look at me, asshole.
Right? Come on, admit it. No? Come on, you never wanna get laid?
I can barely walk anymore.
It fucking doesn't work. Sorry, we'll get off of that. But yeah, so you want to bring it, so that was basically, I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just something where I went, I want to be different than everybody else. And that's the bottom line. And you can make pencils. You know, I started looking at it like business. If you're going to open my sign shop, that's what I looked at. Pencils, toothbrushes, fucking pens that you give away. Let's do little buttons that people wear around. Temporary tattoos are a great fucking thing. They're cheap. You give them away. Somebody has something at the show they walk away with and they remember you. Who is a guitarist here, by the way? All right, who has customized picks? Right? How do you not have your fucking name on a pick and give it away to somebody? Let them walk out and knowing who you are. It's things like that you should do. And I don't mean to point you out and throw you under the bus on that, but...
Hey, drummers rule the world.
That's right, they do. And they... I'm not going to make any drummer jokes right now. I want to, but just keep beating it. That's all I can say. Keep beating it.
We rule your world and we drive.
You do what? I'm sorry?
Laser engraved merchandise.
Yeah, merchandise, big thing, yes. So you do some giveaways, shirts, you should have all those things. Drumsticks with your names on it. Use a Sharpie, write your name on it. So there's a lot of things like that, just think outside the box. I don't know what triggered me, the podcast, and I said, here's a podcast, it's free for I forget, Blog Talk Radio. You get 30 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it was, for free. I got on there, I started interviewing other bands and trying to pull everybody in, and that's, start pumping your shows, and then, you're talking about the radio, so everybody working together, that worked for a while, but if you're not willing to put in any kind of promotion in your band, and you want to show up, you go, I do my job, I show up and play the drums. That's all I gotta fucking do. You mean I gotta go drop off flyers? What? So, and yeah, you should. Everybody take turns. If you don't know how to make a flyer, there's applications you can just download on your phone and make one. There's no reason not to learn. So anyway, work on everything. Look at it like a business, like you want to, and even if the money is not the most important to you, just think about the venues and the promoters that are booking you. They want money. They want to make money to stay open. So if you like the venue that you're playing at, and you want to keep it open and keep the stage there for you, then you have to bring in people and make money. And, you succeed, they succeed, and everybody succeeds. So anyway, think outside the box, look at it as a business. Before you open your store, get all your shelves filled, get your signage up, get all your shirts, promotional tools, that's the metaphor there, get all your shit together. And then you blast out with your new album and your new band and go out and hit venues. And if you're gonna play one venue. We used to do 3 gigs a month, maybe 4, but when we did it, we did one on the west side, one on the east side, one over there, one over there. You don't do 2 in the same place, within, 2 weeks span or whatever, 3 weeks even, right? Yeah, how are you gonna do that? I saw those guys last week. If not, I'll see them next week. Don't give people any reason not to go to a show. So that I had everybody on the west side going, when the fuck are you gonna play over here? You always play on the east side. So we found a venue there. And then we started going north and south. So split it up, bam, bam, and you can make enough work for yourself if you're playing every weekend and you're doing it, you know what I mean?
Change up your set list too.
Yes, very important. Don't do the same thing.
I don't want to go to the same bars all the time, generic cover band, A, B, and C. You can always count on Man in the Box being played when you walk in the fucking door.
Right. Yeah, the same songs, the same stuff. Acoustic sets are great too. I saw bands doing that. It's great to see a band just go acoustic for an evening, or something different. So, anyway, that's what I have to say. I'm gonna get off the stage and let other people up here. But thank you for listening. If there's any more questions, I'll take it, or I'll just get out of here.
You guys, that was great, man. And he's right, throw yourself to the wind. Be different. The main thing, you guys, too, every time you try something different, all your friends start giggling at you. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Because it is different. No one's used to that. I hate to make this example, but look at Lady Gaga. I mean, she crawled out of a giant vagina on stage. Blew everybody away. Doing the craziest shit, but look where she's sitting now, So we don't have that to be like that. I'm just saying, think outside the box a little bit. Just try to be different. But, it's all up to you what you want to do. But just... everybody's got really good things to say today, so I hope this is all sinking in. Mr. Art Long, you're next, sir. Oh, Tony, I got a great drum joke for you, too. I kind of just gave the punchline away, but what has 3 legs and an asshole on top? A drum stool. Now, anatomically, that's an anatomy question. Scientifically, it's correct. Come on up, Art. Mr. Art Long, you guys.
Okay, well, this was a week that I was supposed to spend preparing for exactly what it was that we were supposed to be talking about, and then I got hit with a case of the bubonic plague. I'm sure you can hear that. Whoever's up after me, Lysol this fucking microphone, because nobody wants this. And, yeah, talking about self-promotion, I mean, talking to somebody like Tony Noyes about self-promotion and the shameless ways that you can go about it and actually how to be effective. No task is too ridiculous for this guy to do it, so think ridiculous. I mean, we are not genetically coded like everybody else. We're musicians. We're the black sheeps. Black sheep. We are the family outcast.
The sheeps or sheep?
I don't know. Once you get the zipper down, it doesn't matter, man. But just to tell you a little bit about myself. Hi, my name is Art, and I'm a musician. I'm involved in several projects. I'm a musicianaholic. Okay, there we go. I wake up thinking about it. I dream about it every night. I go to work and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'd rather be picking a guitar right now. And I'm sure all of us feel that way. I have a cover band that I work with right now, and that's Hush Hush for the moment. I'm working with a Motorhead tribute, Damage Case. We're getting back to some serious work here, obviously, come on. I've got my own album that I'm working on right now, Art Long and the Rat Bastards. Actually, it's pronounced Rat Bastards. I'm from Boston. The name of the album is Chitlins and Chowder. Anybody wants to hear any samples of it, I've actually got them on my phone with me. And I also am working with some other bands, trying to help them get their message across. Mr. Dennis Malo, I'm working with his band, Voodoo Sliver. I'm currently playing bass with Tricus. And any and all various and sundry, just trying to get as much out there as I possibly can without spreading myself too thin, because I do have a household and a shitload of kids and a dog. And, you don't forget about that stuff, because that's what grounds you. Yes, I got a wife too. She's right there. And talking about some of this shameless self-promotion stuff, Eric gave me a call one day. I was sitting at home on one of my rare nights off, and I was having myself a cocktail, and Eric calls me up. He's like, hey, what about street teaming? And I thought about it. Do you guys remember Headbangers Ball? And I'm not just talking about the incredible music that was coming out of there, but also, also the way that the hosts would approach the show. The one that really particularly got my attention was, there was one with Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson. And they were touring around the city. I don't even know what city it was, but Ted Nugent was in town. So they went to Ted Nugent's tour bus to talk to him. They went and crashed a show for Guns N' Roses. There was another up and coming, I think it was a punk band that they went and talked to. That, and it was almost like on top of what they were doing, which was promoting the genre, they were also promoting the people that were part of it. And just like misery loves company, success can be contagious. And so when Eric started talking about the street teaming thing, that's something that really, really got my attention. Now, what if we were to get together, with a couple of people from other bands that happen to have the night off, and we happen to have some friends of ours that have another project going on, and let's say they have a show at the Marquee, opening up for Kingdom Come this Wednesday, and yes, I do have tickets with me at a discounted rate, just to let you know, folks. And they were to hit 3 or 4 clubs. Now, you'd be promoting not only your own product, but as well as whoever had the tickets available, and wherever you stopped in, do a little film, put it on Facebook. The people who have the shows going on, you're also doing the favor for about 2 or 3 of the venues that you stop by. Those people that get off of work at 10 o'clock at night, okay, what the fuck am I going to do now? Stay home, drink a couple of beers, and really like to go out and see a live show? Well, okay, what he and I did, we went down to Chopper John's. He went to, where else did you go that night, dude? Eric! Where else did you go that night? Because I joined you up at Chopper John's.
Chopper John's, that night I stopped by Rips.
Rips, yeah.
What was the other one? There was one other place we stopped by that night.
Yeah, not a whole hell of a lot of time or thought had to be put into this. But like I said, success is contagious. I joined them up at Chopper John's, right in between Rips and Chopper John's. We went to see a band at Chopper John's that was from Bakersfield, California. They were fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Never heard of the band before. Bought their CDs, got them a little publicity here in Phoenix. Why can't we do that for each other? Malicious Melodies is, looks like they're trying to get the ball rolling again, or at least for a show.
Yeah, we're going to do one more.
Yeah.
Really what we're doing with Malicious Melodies is we're trying to use that as a springboard for the other bands. Because all of us are in other bands. So it's not really it's not really a band, even though, yeah, we're a band and we're playing music, you know, but we're just trying to use a platform that we created, you know, to kind of springboard the rest of what's going on. And it's all about, there's a community about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's a community. You've got Jeremy Wilson that's in his what is the name of your other band?
Dead name.
Dead Name, okay.
So, yeah, there's a whole community feeling about it, and you know, I don't know. Malicious Melodies is not going to release another album. I can guarantee you that.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't make it.
What it's turned into.
So anyways, yeah, what he's trying to turn that into is the guys from the other bands getting together, starting a project that's gonna probably bring a little, it's like a mobile street team. So that's gonna bring a little bit more promotion to some of the other bands that they're in, and some of the other people that they're affiliated with. I mean, people do anything with Voodoo Sliver, they're gonna run into me eventually. And yeah, that's just the way it works. It's, you know, success also is very contagious. Come on up, dude. Yeah.
Okay. You know, another part about this little street team idea is, you know, street teams are people that are generally other than your own band. You know, we have to generate buzz. We have to get people talking about it. We have to get people excited about it. You know, what exactly is a street team to you guys? I have no idea. What is it?
I had one at the Arizona Event Center. I used all my interns. We go out once a week, sometimes twice a week. And if our event we had coming up looked like it was going to be full. Wade would hand me 100 friggin' tickets, and we would walk out the flyers and just go and talk to people. And that's where you're going to make that connection.
Exactly, and that was 100 people that you didn't have looking at your press before,
I
right?
like walking through downtown Mesa and find a couple walking, go, hey, you guys ever been to a burlesque show? Here's 2 free tickets. Why don't you guys go? They go, what? We hardly ever go out. You know what I mean? And bam, we had new customers.
How you guys held fight night and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
At that
We did
place.
everything.
We played there a couple of times.
You know, I mean, another thing that we can do for each other, Art, is you and I have talked about this. You know, I'll tell you what, me and this guy right here, you give both of us a t-shirt, a stack of flyers, a stack of your tickets, and we'll say what, 50 bucks? 50 bucks to cover the gas. We will hit every venue in town promoting your stuff for you. We'll sell your tickets. We will put your name out there. You know, that's what a street team is. You know, I went to the Holberg show. I went to Pladio. You know, and I'll tell you what, I've been on Pladio myself 3 times. I have. 3 times. And and believe me, we took our beating. We didn't win, but at the same time, you know, I mean, some people will look at that situation and be like, oh, well, I got my music on the radio and this and that. Well, no, you got your music out there, but it wasn't in a positive aspect. It was, you know, and I mean, in the street team thing, like I said, when I went to Pladio this year, you know, we actually had a band called Sluts These Days. Sluts These Days? Yeah. I'm sorry, they're a funny fucking group of motherfuckers, but Sluts These Days, they started taking jabs back at Holmberg, you know, because of that whole, you know, beating and stuff. But I'll also tell you this, at Sluts These Days, I've seen their stuff pop up on Facebook. I've heard people talking about it out in other venues, you know. They have people that are out there, you know, moving stuff around. Hey, you need to get one of those shirts. Hey, maybe she wants a sticker, or, you know what I mean? So that's why it's so important, you know, with having a street team. You have to have people that are excited about you, and, you know, generating the buzz. And
I mean, chances are on a Friday and a Saturday night, we're gonna go out anyway, right? I mean, most of the people in this room, they're gonna be going out on a Friday or Saturday night, yeah? No? Well, why not make it work for some of your fellow musicians, fellow bands, the venues that you're trying to get in good graces with? Make it work. You know, take a night off that you were gonna spend.
Look at this.
Well,
He's got a whole fucking stack
yeah,
of guitars.
it's like I got my cards up here.
Hardball, Bad Boy guitars, all that, you know? Every single time. Perfect example.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have guitar picks. Who are you getting guitar picks from? That's right. No, I use these just fine. But I mean, why limit it to just general merchandise? Take a look at the demo that you worked so hard at. And if you haven't worked hard on a demo yet, get to working on it. Recording. It's a lot easier than it used to be. It's a lot more accessible than it used to be. Now, we all have, you know, the 4-track wonders that we used to be when we were in the 80s and stuff like that. We had little cassettes that we used to put out just to give the club owners and stuff like that. But now, we can actually take something that we have worked on and we can almost immediately upload it to places like Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. So, that's another thing that Eric wanted me to talk about. And I'm also going to do some shameless promotion right here. Art Lawn and the Rat Bastards, very, very soon. I'm not going to say within minutes, but it will definitely be within the next matter of weeks, is going to be coming out with an album called Chitlins and Chowder. Yes, I said that right, N-A-H, the end of it, Chitlins and Chowder. It's going to be a really good culmination of just about everything and every influence that I've ever listened to in my life. I wrote 99% of the material on it. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I wanted to write the album that I wanted to hear. And I was able to work with a couple of people that also wanted to hear something similar and volunteered their services. So over the course of the last year and a half, Chitlins and Chowder has just about become a reality. And there's a lot of work. Yeah, I played some of it for Jim Stark already. Bad Boy Guitars, Perry Fretz, he was my producer for a good chunk of it. I had Rick Martney, who was also my drummer, was the engineer. We used the same software in between 2 studios that were, I was fortunate enough that they waived their engineering costs for it. And this thing's going to be done pretty soon. And we've got so many people in this valley that are such good songwriters, such good hook writers. Now let's get you into a place where you can actually record that dream demo, okay? Now, stay away from where you hear this. Oh yeah, that's good enough. Let's go to the next part. No. Those are the guys that are on the hour for $35, say they're the best engineers in the valley, and what you got is something that you could have done in your own basement. We have a lot of good ethical studios out there. We have Greasewood Studios. What's that?
Byron with Villain.
Oh yeah, I recorded with him the Kiss Mania demo. Byron Filson, Villain recording,
That's an
really
amazing
good.
studio.
I really like most of the stuff that I've heard come out of Steampunk Labs.
Steampunk, yeah, Casey Weaver did fucking malicious.
Casey did that? Okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't heard yours yet.
Mine?
No, Malicious, I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah. How the hell have you not heard Persistence Live?
I don't know. I've never seen fucking Game of Thrones either, so I mean, it's no big deal there.
Probably about hundreds of those CDs and shit.
Well, guess what? If you threw one to me, you whiffed, okay? You got one in the car right now?
Not right now.
Why the fuck not?
Because that was 3 years ago.
We've got Pyramix in Glendale. We've got Greasewoods up in Scottsdale. We've got Rick Martney and his home studio. I mean, he said he didn't want to go full production yet. About 1/3 of his house is dedicated to it.
Sound Vision, Michael Beck.
Michael Beck, Sound Vision?
Michael Beck is an amazing sound producer.
I agree.
Dude. Yeah, he does Alice Cooper stuff.
Oh, okay. Now, another thing that you want to do is, oh, look at this. Here's some shameless promotion. Tony, here you go. Look at this. I got a Tony Noyes pick. Okay, I've known this guy for 15 fucking years and I never got a pick from him. I just dropped the son of a bitch.
He never showed to my shows, that's why he doesn't have a pick, and he throws it.
I've been to your shows, don't give me shit. You never go to mine? Oh no, that's a lie. You were last year's round. Find a producer. Find somebody that's going to have your best interest in heart to safeguard you from these guys that you're paying $35 an hour and say, yeah, that's good enough. Good enough is never good enough. Okay, you want to get the best sound for you. And, you know, I don't want to say that I'm a good producer or anything like that, but I play a mean stereo and I know what I like to hear. And if I get a chance to work with some of you guys close enough, I can kind of gather what you want to hear for a natural sound and try to pull that out of you the best that I can in the studio. I got plenty of cards available up here, and I'm just going to leave this back right here. But that's one of the tools that you're going to need to get this promotion wagon going. Okay, great. You've got your demo or your record. If you're going to sell it or just use it as a demo, it doesn't make a difference. It's got to grab somebody's attention. That's when you take a page out of Tony's book, start thinking outside of the box. I remember that a friend of mine was working at a college radio station for Brown University, and Joe Walsh came out with an album called Got Any Gum. And what he was doing to promote this album was he had a CD single, but you had to go digging for it. Okay, he'd give you this CD single in a gallon jar of double bubble gum. Okay? And it got a lot of people's attention. I don't even remember any of the songs that were played off of this thing. I just remember the Got Me Gum album. And, you know, when I'm cruising around on Spotify and I want to hear something by Joe Walsh, Got Me Gum is the first one that pops into mind. Okay, I'll listen to that. And right now, the cough medicine is about to kick in. So if anybody's got any questions about how to get started, where they would like to go, and what they would like to do to start recording,
I want to know about one of your biggest successes and how you got there.
one of my biggest successes? Okay, well, 2007, I got a letter from the Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences letting me know that I was nominated for Best Instrumental with Vocal Song.
Nice.
It was a nomination. We didn't win, but it was something that we recorded in 1992. And this is exactly what thinking outside the box comes from. We recorded it in 1992 for a company called Big Noise in Providence, Rhode Island. They were putting together a compilation of all the artists that they worked with to one capacity or another. Big Noise is the management company that handles Christina Aguilera. I think a couple of you might have heard of her. And they also manage Matthew McCarthy's career, the actor from, well, he was a Brat Packer back in the day. But here's where thinking outside the box comes in. The guy that was the linchpin in that band moved out to California, and he decided to repackage. So instead of using the band name, which believe me, it had 13 consonants in it, it was a jazz folk band. I couldn't pronounce it then, still can't pronounce it. It had flutes, it had mandolins, it had just all kinds of weird instruments in it. But this was just a jazzy song that had a little bit of flute in it. He repackaged under his own brand and released it digitally for the first time on upload sites like iTunes, Spotify, which had never been on before. Well, the Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences finally got their hands on it after 15 years, and that's where we get the nomination from. So, one of the best success stories, what I had to do for that was wait. But if I would have been the one that was acting proactively about that, then I probably would have thought, okay, well, you know, digital's about to make a big splash here. Everything, they're going to stop pressing vinyl. Cassettes are going to go the way of the dinosaur because every time it gets too humid, you're something like this. Let's go full digital here. Let's go to the upload sites. Let's go to full CDs. What else was happening at the time? Digital compact cassettes. Yeah, take a look at some of your old projects. Take a look at something you recorded in 1992. Repress it, see what happens.
What were some of the steps that took you to doing quality product?
Well, first of all, we had a producer that definitely had our best interest at heart. He was just opening his studios, Triad Studios in Warwick,
I think
Rhode
that's
Island.
a key word right there. You had a producer.
Yeah, we had a good producer. I mean, we had an engineer with, he was the guitarist in the band. He was a great engineer. But we had our producer, we had Tony Ritchie that was keeping an eye on us. He definitely had our best interest at heart.
How does somebody go about finding somebody like that?
Well, it's got to be somebody that is definitely wowed by your sound, not passively saying, you know, somebody that sees the X factor in your band. With Voodoo Sliver, I just noticed something about them. These guys are all middle-aged guys, but they have the energy of 19-year-olds. Not just the energy, but they also had a really good on-stage chemistry. And what made me approach them is it was contagious. You know, all of a sudden, you know, it's like I just worked 16 hours and then I had to play a 45-minute set and I was going to go out to work 4 more hours. Then all of a sudden I heard these guys and I was inspired. I wasn't going to let it wait. I just went to, it was the first day I met these guys and I said, okay, this is what we need to do. And also you can tell a good producer that's got your best interest in heart because how much upfront cost has it cost you so far, Mr. Malo?
Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And your passion, I gotta tell you, has inspired every one of us in the band to do better. So it is something, as you said, if that person is actually passionate about your band, that's the guy you want to be producing your shit. Because they're gonna show you how to make it sound better without telling you what the fuck to do. That's what I'm getting at. I want to say thank you for helping up.
No problem, Dennis. Thank you. You guys make my job easy, I'll tell you that much. We've had no arguments. None. Thank you, Norman.
We have arguments.
No, they have arguments. I don't have arguments with them. No, I've never had, I mean, I've had them bitch about a couple of things. I made a couple of suggestions, and Dennis is like, no, I'm not going to try that. That's going to sound like shit. Yet, every time that we tried to play it after that, that's exactly the way that he went with it, and it just seemed to work for him better than...
And you'll hear it tonight.
Yeah, you'll hear it tonight. These guys are going to throw in a hell of a show, I'm telling you. I mean, they sounded great to start out with, but I'd like to think that we've come leaps and bounds since then. And when you see their product when it comes out, it's going to be really good. Really good. Okay, anything else?
How big is your penis?
What's that? Well, wait right there. I'll throw it to you, okay? And honestly, I wish I had a little bit more personal energy to expend with you guys because I'm telling you, I'm passionate about what happens in music out here. I really I'm passionate about what I mean, ask the people that know me best, the people that work with me, ask Eric, ask my wife, ask anybody how passionate I am about music. You know, I really want to see us all succeed.
You know, there's a lot of people that share the same passion, but they're not here today. And, you know,
Why do you think they're not here?
why do I think they're not here?
Mm-hmm.
I think that some people, you know, and I'm gonna go up.
Jesus.
Yeah, you want to know why I think that some people aren't here? It's because attitude. Tony talks about attitude. Okay? You know, a lot of people have an attitude towards this place, and they want to say that, oh, well, I got this at the Blooze, I got that at the Blooze, blah, blah, blah. You know, I was,
You know what I got at the Blues?
dude, I had a good fucking time. You know what I ever played
You know what I got at the Blues?
You know?
Where's Jen? Where's Jen? Okay, I got a handshake deal with Jen. I got a stage, I got a great PA with a great sound man. I got exactly what I asked for, and I got a really good vibe off of working with this. So, I mean, y'all, if you got a problem with the Blues, I mean, let it be yours, because I'm telling you, this venue, they want to work with us.
Right, I'll tell you what. You know what? I've shared this stage with St. Madness. You know, great shows. Great shows. We raised almost $3,000 here on this stage, you know, for Hurricane Harvey. You know, yeah, it was a year ago, but dude, I'm telling you what, you know, we had a great time here. She's always done us right. She's never done us wrong. You know, Dylan has worked his ass off behind the soundboard over here.
Spider-Man can't crack that guy.
Everybody loves Dylan. But You know, I mean, the ones. I think what we need to do here is we need to figure out a way to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, I think I thought that's what we were trying to do here too, but I did see a lot of negative press on Facebook about people want to, write in and bitch about what we have going on. Well, where the fuck are you right now?
So cold.
Where the fuck are you? If you already know everything of what's going on, you don't want to step foot in the blues because it might actually fucking happen. Well, fuck you then.
I'll tell you what, this is a good stage. We got good lights. Look at that, there's even a clock. Right up there. Good stage.
Yeah, so guys our age,
good sound.
want to take our blood pressure medication, right?
And I'll tell you what, I don't remember Jen ever fucking forcing anybody to sell any tickets to play here.
I've never been asked to sell tickets here.
So, I'll tell you what, she's got a good spot. This stage is worth playing on. And I'll tell you what, most everybody in this city has been in here for a show. I mean, come on. Let's celebrate this place for what it is.
Absolutely, it's a venue. It's a good venue with a good owner.
Right.
Great staff. Yep, sorry you guys couldn't make it. All I got to say.
So that's about all I got to say as well. Let's take a look through the paperwork here. Throw some shit around. What are we gonna do? You know what, Jim? Just go ahead.
Whoa! I'm gonna thank everybody for coming out. Phil, thanks, man. You're always here, dude. Always supporting. Everybody is. Very good turnout today. Good points you made on a lot of things there. And again, I'm gonna reiterate what you said. Don't complain if you didn't show up. If you didn't show up because you were looking for a bitch fest, then I'm glad you didn't show up because that's not what this is for. It was very, very productive. We had good speakers and everybody got their Q&As in. Before we wrap this up tonight, we do have a guest. Brian, if you want to come up real quick, let everybody know what you're doing. He's another DJ in town here that he plays national stuff, but he's going to start playing some local things too. So I want you guys to meet Brian here. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself. He's not going to take up much of your time, just a couple minutes, and then I'll be right back with you. Brian, welcome.
I didn't know I'd be talking today, so I do a free-form music show on Radio Phoenix. It's an online radio show. Once it goes to Mixcloud, it becomes, for all practical purposes, a podcast. So it's online radio or podcast, depending upon your preference. I grew up with, I don't know if anyone remembers John Peel, DJ out of England, who would play Motorhead, going to Tangerine Dream, to X, not the LAX, but the X from Australia, going, all over the place. And that's my same mindset. I can guarantee you if I play an R&B song sandwiched between two punk tracks, you're gonna remember the punk song. If I play Paper Foxes, if I play Safe Madness, if I play whatever, you're gonna remember the Safe Madness because that's the one song in between that set that sounds different. So that's kind of my mindset in terms of all over the fucking place. I mean, I want to play whatever I want to play. It's not the same as a commercial radio station, so it gives me some freedom and latitude as far as what to play. I can play, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Pantera, in the same set. And I was telling Jim, I've sort of been migrating over to a higher ratio of local, and not just local, but concert psyching rock, more or less. If a band's playing a show the following week, I always do it like a week or two ahead of time. It's kind of pointless to do it day of or day before. I always do a shout out for a show and then play not the headliner, but the opener. For example, not Soulfly, but I would play Sectus, or example after example. I don't typically play something that's going to be played on KWSS or KEPD because you can hear it elsewhere. So it kind of is pointless for me to be playing it also. So, but I didn't really have any prepared remarks, but I'm open to playing more local stuff. If you never thought about Radio Phoenix, I am, as far as I know, the only one playing punk. I'm the only one playing heavy metal. I'm the only one playing contemporary classical. So there's different genres of music being played at Radio Phoenix. to the best of my knowledge, I am the only one playing metal and punk and a lot of other genres. So if you want to be played on Radio Phoenix, I can help you with that. And I'm happy to plug any shows that are going on locally. So, thanks for having this.
Didn't mean to throw you into the fire there, Brian, but since you were here, I wanted everybody to know who you were. All right, we're all kind of the same thing. So you guys, thank you again for coming. I'm Jim Stark. Thank you very much, Eric, for helping and doing all this stuff. You've pretty much taken over and taking care of this now. I really appreciate that. It's wonderful. That's okay. We'll handle it. You're good though, but you're still got to be part of this with us. So any questions from you guys that I can answer, I can do that right now. Also, make sure you guys get on my podcast, James C. Stark Radio, and Larry King. You guys have met her now, is also working with me on there. She's doing a lot of interviews now. She's doing some videos, and she's doing a lot of the street work. That sounds bad, sorry, it came out bad. Yeah, she's raising money for the station on the street. Not that way. But she's doing really good. So if you have a chance and she does approach you, we are working together now. So definitely get on there. She just did a couple of her very first casts with me, and she did really good. And you guys know you can always tune in and listen to all your favorite vocals there. So that's about it for us today. Does anybody have any questions for me? We're good? Pretty much answered everything? Good then. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming. Make sure you keep an eye out on the page so you know when the next meeting is going to be. It'll probably be in the next 2 months. And if we're all wrapped up here, I think we're good. Anyone? We're okay? All right, thank you guys so much. Jen, thank you for having us out here. And we have no idea where the next one will be, but we can bounce around and stuff. Peace, thanks so much for coming. It's always a pleasure to see you. And everybody else, thank you. God bless and stay awesome.